What is it that makes White Plains great and different from other cities?
Well, there's so many things, but I think the primary thing is the people. The people that live here, the people that choose to live here. We have people of every background, every economic level, every interest, and I think we all benefit from each other's presence. And it's something that I can remember, going way back, and I know it's been that way here in White Plains forever, really. And it's something that we all appreciate.
When people think White Plains, they typically think development, high rises, building going on. Is that all there is to the city?
No, of course not. I mean, we have everything from 43-story buildings to ponds you can swim in. And just again, these small 10 square miles. So people who live in White Plains recognize we have this vibrant, thriving downtown core, which we have worked hard to maintain. And in order to do that, it's almost like you're surfing. You have to kind of always look for the next angle on the wave and stay ahead of things. And I think that's happened in this city over the years, and we believe it's happening now. It's what's kept us healthy. Outside of the core downtown, you have a ring of varying residential neighborhoods of every type you can imagine. When we have film companies come in, we say we have Leave It to Beaver, we have Brady Bunch, whatever area you want, we have it here. And as I say, at the north end, you have areas that are basically almost rural in nature. So I think it's very unique. And I think everyone benefits, again, as I mentioned earlier, we benefit from each other's presence. All the neighborhoods benefit from the presence of the other neighborhoods. The downtown core is thriving, and a thriving downtown is a generator of revenue and a generator of services for everyone in the city, and helps us keep our taxes stable, which is important when we talk about affordable housing. Many people don't talk about keeping taxes stable. It's an important part of keeping housing affordable.
There was a time when developers coming into White Plains, or many other cities for that matter, would face a hard time and have a lot of high hurdles to jump. Has that changed?
I would say it's changed. Here we are a desired location, so we can ask for more from people who want to come develop here. Other communities need to incentivize at a higher level than we do. But I think one of the things that does come up is we have a building department that does enforce codes, but most of the developers recognize that, and when they come in, and they finish their projects, they express appreciation for how smooth the process is and how professional it is, which is important. During COVID, many governments basically shut down. I mean, people didn't come to work. The basics were kept going, but that's about it. Local government has to keep functioning, and the way we kept functioning is, as long as construction was happening, our building inspectors were still out there doing inspections. Our DPW was still out doing their job. Police, fire, I was here. We had somebody in every department. But I think a lot of the reason that we're seeing such a quick resurgence in our city is that we never really completely shut down. Once the building projects got going again, we're hearing from other communities that they couldn't get inspections, they couldn't move forward. The White Plains Hospital project finished on time, even though the construction period was during COVID. That's a miracle, and that's a credit to the people who worked on it, and to Susan Fox and everybody at White Plains Hospital. But it's also a credit to us, because we were ready to do the inspections and make sure the project kept moving.
There are a lot of projects underway in White Plains. Just down the street from here, the Mitchell, a very large apartment project. Ground is going to be broken soon down near the train station for another project. Is it necessary to have things lined up in the pipeline and ready to go so that there are no lapses in business activity?
Well, I do think that with development, one thing that I've learned, and I think most people recognize, although some don't, is that it's a window that opens and closes. And when the window closes, it doesn't peter out. It's overnight. When we had the last downturn in the economy, we wound up with with a lot of projects that never got off the ground. The one that I think of now is Elcor, which is now not only out of the ground but up, and people are living in it. But that happened later. So you do want to not unnecessarily delay projects that you think are good for the community. On the other hand, as I said earlier, we have the ability to say no. If we don't like something, we can just say no. So I wouldn't say you need it to keep it going, but it is a benefit. These construction projects, while they're happening, are providing support to our small businesses, particularly downtown. The construction workers eat breakfast, they eat lunch. I know that when the Mitchell shut down because of the failure of the construction company, it got back up very quickly. But while it was down, when I would go to get my lunch, when are they going to get going again? Because it's a real benefit. When the project's finished, of course, it's an even bigger benefit because all of those residents are customers. They bring street activity to our downtown, and they support our small businesses. So I wouldn't say you want to continue a stream, but I'm very happy that we have what we have. We're careful about what we approve. We're careful about how we develop, but this is working.
How important has it been to make White Plains a greener city? And where do you stand on doing more of that?
Well, that's the part of my job that I love because that's where my heart is. I remember the first Earth Day. I'm that old that I remember the first Earth Day. I think I was in 4th grade, and I never looked back. I think that the planet is in a crisis. I think we're all obligated to do what we can, and I think, as with so many other issues, it's fallen to local governments to make the difference. So we have a groundbreaking project that's well underway to put solar on most of our properties, and and it was done in a way that we're going to produce revenue for our taxpayers over $1 million a year. We're going to be able to offer our taxpayers a 10% credit on their electric bill, and we're going to be helping to move the needle on issues around climate change. I think people are expecting it. If you look at if you follow like Bloomberg TV or news, the corporate world is now shifting over. People want to see that when they invest in a company, when they support a company, they want to see that company is committed to making real change in the environment. I think people want it and expect it. And if they don't get it from their government, who are they going to get it from? So for me, with this infrastructure project coming, I'm hoping it's going to allow for more pedestrian and bike installations and not just clover leaves around the country, because we need to act now, and I think most people recognize that and want to be part of that. We've done so much for so long, but we've added food scraps recycling, but we've always recycled our own leaves on site and gave them out to residents as mulch. We've got solar all over the place. Electric charging stations all over the city, more than anybody else in the region. And as we move to electrification of transportation, so it's vital is the simple word. I mean, it's vital to our survival as a species.
If you could put up a billboard on a thruway somewhere with a welcome to White Plains or come to White Plains message, what exactly would you as mayor be telling people?
Well, first of all, I'm not putting up any billboards. I want to be clear about that. Okay, that's a step backwards. But listen, I think this is a city with a heart. I mean, you walk down the street, you see so many people just going about your business. So many people engaged, so many people volunteering. It's one of the pleasures of being a mayor. You sometimes find yourself in very, very difficult situations and working with people that are really in a terrible situation. On the other hand, you see so many people who are quietly doing so much good and not expecting anything for it. We just had a volunteer walk out of the building as I was coming out to see you, helping us with our newsletter. It's just the community that we have, and I think the elevator speech is, we're 30 minutes from Midtown, we're 30 minutes from the Bear Mountain Bridge. So we have everything, and you can get to the greatest city in the world. I'm not second greatest, okay? We orbit around it, I recognize that. But you can get to Manhattan so quickly, whether it's for work, pleasure, whatever, the arts, whatever you want to do, and yet you can get to, within the city, you can get to some pretty beautiful natural environments. We just opened the extension of the new Greenway, and it's pretty dramatic. The last leg it's surprising and beautiful. But you can also get up into the Catskills, up into Bear Mountain and Harriman and things like that. And there's plenty of hiking. So we really have it all here. Retail, great schools, low crime rate, and a real focus on the environment. And I think our services are second to none. people will all agree on a couple things: our sanitation and our snow plowing. No one can touch that. But think about our library. Think about all the services we have for our youth at our youth bureau and the impact that has on changing the trajectory of a life. It's just an honor to live here. So being mayor is really, icing on the cake.
Is it fair to say that White Plains is a growing city that hasn't forgotten its small town roots?
You're hired. I think that's a great way to put it, because we function with the services and the programs that you find in a city that makes people's lives better. But on the other hand, it's still a personal touch. I mean, people do walk in to just see me. Anybody who calls to meet with me, I meet with them. We're so interwoven here in so many ways that I think that's just who we are. It's in our DNA now.